aviation school in South Carolina in the mid-90s. Though he didn't complete the course, one source tells CBS News he was studying for certification on commercial aircraft. When he was found with a loaded pistol in his carry-on baggage Thursday, about to board a flight from Sweden to Stansted Airport near London, police held him for attempted hijacking. His court-appointed lawyer denies Chatty planned to hijack the plane and claims there's a reasonable explanation for the pistol, but he wouldn't say what that is. Reports that the incident was part of a plan to crash the plane into a U.S. embassy in Europe are being denied by some Swedish officials and U.S. intelligence sources. But one analyst points out the denials could be a tactic to keep suspects off guard.
U.S. embassies in Western Europe are obviously very high-profile targets, so therefore it would be normal, one could almost say normal, for terrorists to attempt to attack these embassies.
The protective perimeter around the U.S. embassy here was widened and surveillance beefed up last September. Officials never comment on specific security measures, but the British government today called the incident in Sweden a timely reminder of a continuing need for vigilance. Swedish officials also deny they are looking for 3 or 4 accomplices who may have been traveling with Chatty and then got away when police let passengers from the Ryanair plane go after questioning. The uncertainty adds to what one security expert calls predictable tension in the run-up to September 11th. It's going to be a horrendous 2 weeks, he says, with everyone looking over their shoulders. Richard Roth, CBS News, London.
In the Middle East, another attack, another apology. This time, Israeli gunfire has killed a group of Palestinian youngsters, and some Palestinians are promising revenge. David Hawkins reports on the latest mix-up in the Middle East.
The Israeli government says it's sorry that Israeli helicopters killed 4 Palestinian children in a rocket attack on a car carrying a Palestinian militant, but not the man they were after. The rockets demolished the car on a road in a village near Jenin, killing everyone inside. Palestinians say another rocket struck a house, killing a 9-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl, and injuring several others.
It's not a PlayStation game, you know, where you can push a button, you know exactly where you were, what you hit. Sometimes, you know, there are unexpected things. You don't always have 100% intelligence.
It's another mistake, like the mistake made on Thursday when Israeli tank fire killed a mother and her 3 children sleeping in a tent near a settlement in the Gaza Strip.
So I must say that we investigate, interrogate every incident to see if there are ways and means by which we can reduce the extent of collateral damage.
Palestinian officials say Israel's continued assassinations and mistakes are sabotaging efforts to forge a ceasefire and return to negotiations, and make it impossible for them to stop revenge attacks against Israelis.
Instead of giving us a process to get to a ceasefire, it just escalates matters to an unacceptable and unbelievable situation. This is really something that we should stop.
Stop is something neither side seems able to do. Tonight, a Palestinian gunman shot and wounded 2 Israeli settlers near Nablus, retaliation for the killing of a Palestinian militant last week. And already, and as expected, Palestinian terrorists are promising to avenge the deaths of those killed in today's Israeli attack. David Hawkins, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
Iraq's government newspaper is charging that the U.S. is ignoring international opposition to an attack on Iraq. This came as Saddam Hussein met with his top aides, 2 of whom are just back from foreign tours to drum up support against the U.S. threat. Millions of Americans are traveling on this last long holiday weekend of the summer, but partly because of terrorism jitters, air travel is down from last year. And as we hear from Randall Pinkston, so is travel by car, except for the region of the country hit hardest by the September 11th attacks.
This was Labor Day getaway outside New York City. The George Washington Bridge, gateway to interstate highways, clogged with traffic. While travel is down slightly nationwide, in the Northeast Corridor, substantially more cars are on the road than the same time a year ago.
Travel by automobile in the Northeast is far higher than it was last year, maybe as much as 1/3 to 2/3. It seems that people in those regions are faint out of fear as a result of September 11th.
Lower gas prices are also making driving more attractive. But even travel bargains aren't luring customers into the nation's airports. Through June, the airline industry reports passenger loads off 11%. And security concerns aren't the only reason. Experts say travelers are also shunning airports because of longer delays due to new screening procedures. Amtrak, with this new high-speed Acela train, is not seeing a marked uptick in its riders. But the financially troubled rail line isn't complaining.
We're up a little on one month, down a little the next month over last year's all-time record ridership. And we think that's pretty good compared to the double-digit decline in most airlines.
The depressed economy is also putting a damper on holiday travel. Still, with 36.5 million people going somewhere this weekend, Americans aren't allowing money worries to cancel an end-of-summer tradition. Randall Kingston, CBS News, New York.
Major League ballparks across the country are packed this holiday weekend, one day after a threatened players' strike was avoided. But the new deal between players and owners is drawing criticism, as some wonder if the past will eventually catch up with the national pastime. Lee Cowan reports.
For all the bluster made over baseball's new and some would argue historic contract,
payoff pitch, base hit it to right field.
Today's baseball looked a lot like yesterday's baseball, and the day before that, frustrations and all. Even though Friday's bottom-of-the-ninth agreement between the players and the owners did save the season, most agree it did little to save the game.
This is not a permanent fix, and it's just a question of time, how long before the owners start complaining that this system isn't any good for them either.
The owners did get almost everything they were hoping for. Rich teams will now have to fork over more of their revenue to poorer teams, and clubs with high payrolls will pay a luxury tax to discourage their runaway spending on salaries. The idea, to restore a competitive balance and bring baseball in line with other sports.
The owners have decided that they cannot run baseball under the present rules, that they need the same kind of rules or similar rules as basketball and football.
But the new contract offers little in the way of guarantees. Will the teams that receive the new shared revenues actually hire better players, or just stick the cash in their pockets? And some fear the so-called luxury tax may only serve as an annoyance to big spenders like the Yankees, rather than actually rein in costs.
This is not a deal that's going to hurt the players. Let's get that straight.
Even the provision that requires drug testing for steroids seems less than serious. Under the deal, players won't even be punished for a positive test. Sports economist Alan Sanderson says, at best, the agreement's a draw.
I guess I would liken it to putting a Band-Aid on a wound and not putting sutures.
Which raises the question, what's next?
I guarantee you, though, that 4 years from now, the owners will say the system needs to be changed.
In the end, of course, a deal is better than a strike. But what some worry is that all that deal really did was postpone the inevitable. Lee Cowan, CBS News, New York.
Also, next year's prestigious Masters golf tournament will have a different look, at least on television. It will be commercial-free. The Augusta National Golf Club says it will do without the revenue because sponsors could come under pressure from women's groups campaigning to change the club's policy, barring women from membership.
The good old boys are hard to beat, and it takes a long time, but golf is not getting away with this.
Last June, after hearing that Augusta barred women from membership, Dr. Martha Burke sent a private letter to Augusta's chairman, William Hootie Johnson, urging a change in policy. That letter drew an angry response. I found your letter's several references to discrimination, allusions to the sponsors, and your setting of deadlines to be both offensive and coercive. The controversy then drew in the world's most famous golfer, the winner of this year's Masters, who stopped short of condemning the policy.
It's not easy. A lot of these clubs that's the way they believe, and that's the way they believed in for a long period of time. It's not easy.
Dr. Burke said she believes the Augusta Club will continue to resist membership for women golfers.
I think they're showing a willingness, as I said, to forego millions of dollars in sponsorships in order to continue to discriminate.
Citigroup, IBM, and Coca-Cola reportedly did receive letters from the women's organization appealing to their corporate codes of conduct against discrimination. Their next target?
CBS Sports.
The network that has broadcast the Masters since 1956. CBS.
Just as ABC was willing to pull their broadcast off of the PGA Championship in 1990, when the club holding it was discriminating against African American men, we think CBS should probably step up and be willing to make that kind of statement in behalf of women.
A CBS Sports spokeswoman said today that the Masters is the most watched golf event of the year and that CBS plans to air the Masters next April. Still to come on the CBS Evening News, swan songs on Capitol Hill for some colorful characters in Congress. Hot times for polar bears walking on thin ice, and a last ovation for a lion of jazz.
When we design our cars, we don't see sheet metal. We see the people who may one day drive them. Introducing the redesigned L, the View, and the all-new Ion. It's different in a Saturn.
Looking for a snack that's low in fat but still high in taste? Orville Redenbacher's Smart Pop is 94% fat-free, 100% delicious. Pick up some Orville Redenbachers today and start popping smart.
At Jones Market, we work a long, hard day, so I need a strong hold. That's why I switched to Fix-It Free. I can have chowder for lunch and fresh corn for dinner.
For a strong, long hold, Fix-It and forget it.
Hey, I guess somebody's had a busy day today. Well, make sure back pain doesn't cramp your schedule tomorrow. Grab a Thermacare air-activated heat wrap before you hit the sack. It gets warm and stays warm, deeply relaxing tight muscles. So circulation flows in, helping pain flow out. So, by the next day, you're moving and grooving. Oh yeah, all day long. Thermacare heat wraps. Find them in the pain reliever aisle.
Hey, pal. Heartburn?
Uh-huh.
I do heartburn.
I last for hours. I work fast. Doctors like me. Anything for pressure and bloating, too?
Well,
no.
Now, that's more than heartburn. That's also gas. When you have it all, you need me to treat it all.
What a know-it-all.
Maalox Max.
Fast heartburn relief plus strong gas relief for the pressure and bloating. That's Maalox Max.
You'll come with me. Now I'm feeling the pressure.
Maalox Max. When you have it all, treat it all.
When you learn about laundry, they say, the whites go here and the darks go here and the lights go there. What do you do with this? I'm hoping for the color not to get on anything else. Please let the clothes come out looking the way they did when they went in. With the Shout Color Catcher, you take this sheet and you throw it in the wash. And you close the lid. And if there was red in there, the sheet would come out red. But it's not on my clothes, it's on the sheet. If I had thrown a shirt in with the blue jeans, which I did, here's how it came out. I don't want to do laundry without it.
New Shout Color Catcher. The proof is on the sheet. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Unsociable host or unbearable allergies? When seasonal allergies keep you from enjoying the things you do, Allegra can help. Only Allegra has fexofenadine, so unlike many other antihistamines, it won't make you drowsy. And Allegra gives you 24-hour relief. For people 12 and older, side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or back pain. Talk to your doctor today about Allegra and get back to your party. Non-drowsy Allegra. Real relief for real living.
Who's tough enough to win the U.S. Open? The world's toughest tennis continues on CBS.
Police investigating the disappearance of Elizabeth Smart have lost their top suspect and best lead in the case. Former Smart family handyman Richard Reese died last night from a stroke. 14-year-old Elizabeth was reportedly kidnapped at gunpoint from her Salt Lake City home almost 3 months ago. When the 107th Congress returns from summer recess next week, many high-profile veterans will be nearing the end of their careers in Capitol Hill. Some of them, in their own ways, are irreplaceable, as Joey Chen reports.
It really is tough when you can't go home again, especially when you've been around the place for decades.
You say to yourself, you think this place can run without me? And you find out very quickly it can.
Take it from someone who served in Congress for 36 years. Things change quickly. Consider the faces due to leave the Hill in November. Two controversial Georgia representatives were ousted in their primary races. Gun advocate Bob Barr led the fight to impeach President Clinton, while Cynthia McKinney accused President Bush of hiding what he knew in advance of September 11th. Disgraced California Congressman Gary Condit won't be back either. Ohio's Jim Traficant, convicted for racketeering, is now in prison. Some key figures are choosing to retire, including the two very senior senators of the Carolinas, Strom Thurmond and Jesse Helms. Hill watchers fear it just won't be as much fun around the Capitol next session.
You kind of worry about, it becoming too much of a body of blow dries that all sort of look and sound alike.
And after you've been in the seat of power, what do you do for a second act?
Easy, boy.
Once at center stage among power brokers, the former majority leader is performing again. Retiring Senator Fred Thompson is going back to his earlier career as an actor. He'll be on a hit TV show this fall. Other departing lawmakers will likely be on the air as well as commentators. Though Dole admits, at least for him, no job will ever compare with being a senator.
I've even dreamt about voting in the Senate, even though I'm not, and I keep saying I'm not there, but I keep voting, and Senator Byrd hadn't objected yet.
Seasons change, and so do congressional seats. Though Hill watchers grumble that fewer flamboyant figures will be around next year, they know a new cast of characters will soon bring its issues and its controversies to Congress. Joey Chen, CBS News, Washington.
With the anniversary of September 11th just more than a week away, a quilt to honor the victims is coming together on the National Mall. Dozens of panels were displayed today, made by families and loved ones. It is hoped that eventually this so-called American quilt will have thousands of panels. Coming up next, thin ice in Alaska. Can polar bears live with global warming?
Don't walk on the grass. Run.
No mid-price liquid detergent gets out grass and dirt stains better than new Era Max.
Do not fear grass and dirt. Embrace them.
Era Max.
If you've had a heart attack or a stroke, the last thing you need is another one sneaking up on you. After all, you've got better things to do. I know. In my case, I had a stroke. That's why I talked to my doctor about Plavix. He told me Plavix is a prescription pill that can help protect you from a heart attack or stroke if you've recently had one, or if you have poor circulation in the legs causing pain.
Plavix is proven to help keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep your blood flowing. This can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke. If you have a medical condition that is causing bleeding, such as a stomach ulcer, you should not use Plavix. Side effects include itching, rash, diarrhea, and bruising. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur. Ask your doctor.
Taking Plavix once a day helps protect me.
Find out if Plavix can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke.
So you sure this is okay? What if someone calls? What if someone calls?
Sometimes you feel like being dependable. Sometimes you just want to go for a drive. Chevy Impala.
I'll be there.
Jerky. Right now, you can get 50% off all lenses at LensCrafters. 50% off every lens we carry, even featherweights and no-line bifocals. Other places run special offers, but the selection is limited or there's some kind of catch. At LensCrafters, it's a real half-price sale. 50% off every lens, and we'll still make your glasses in about an hour.
LensCrafters 50% off all lenses event.
This is a great offer. People should definitely not miss this.
Hurry. LensCrafters offer ends September 7th.
Ask your doctor about Celebrex.
Midterm elections and the debate over the attack on Iraq. Democratic and Republican National Committee chairs McAuliffe and Roscoe, plus New York Times' Tom Friedman on Face the Nation Sunday.
Well, a UN Earth Summit in South Africa this weekend tackles global warming and other environmental issues. Evidence is growing that the top of the world is heating up. Jerry Bowen tells us as the Arctic ice pack shrinks, so do the chances of survival for the polar bear.
Tiny Barrow, Alaska is America's top of the world, and desolate Point Barrow, 12 miles out of town, is the very tip.
That could be a couple of bears.
It's out to Point Barrow we've gone in search of polar bears with guide John Tidwell. out past the whalebone yard where bowhead remains are left to lure the bears away from town, down to the gravel beach to watch the parade of ice floes where there's occasionally a furry passenger or two.
Much thinner ice offshore.
Oddly enough, the changing weather is bringing more bears to Barrow. Polar bears thrive on thinner ice, and that's what the Barrow area has more of.
Thin ice means open leads, and open leads are where polar bears hunt, so we end up with more seals and hence more polar bears.
But ice that's too thin is not good for the bears, could actually signal a warmer climate that threatens their long-term survival. And it's the smaller, thinner Arctic ice pack that scientists on a research ship have been looking at, trying to learn why the ice is barely half as thick as it was just 20 years ago, and 15% smaller in area.
There are a lot of organisms up here, including polar bear, that seem dependent upon sea ice being present. And so if the ecosystem changes, the ice disappears, you may just be able to see polar bear in zoos in the future.
These are polar bear stopping bullets. Ooh, ooh.
Armed for bear, just in case, the researchers have been exploring the Arctic to learn what they can about the composition of the ice and the ocean beneath it. Examining creatures at the very bottom of the food chain to learn what may be happening at the top.
If there is a warming and a continual warming, a lot of these animals won't survive.
If climate change is altering the Arctic, it may cause the delicate food web to unravel.
So if you start changing the simple, what it looks like a simple food web, it has a big impact on the higher trophics, what we call the marine mammals, very quickly.
A big impact, too, on the polar bears, whose existence depends on a steady diet of seals and continued sea ice from which to hunt them.
It's kind of like the panda. As the habitat for that animal disappears, the situation may be the same.
And easily within this century, warn researchers, if the warming at the top of the world turns out to be more than a passing phase, turns out to be permanent. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Barrow, Alaska.
Britain today marked the 5th anniversary of Princess Diana's death in a Paris car crash. There was no official commemoration, but hundreds left flowers at Kensington Palace, her former home. The spokesman said her two sons, Princes William and Harry, are remembering their mother in their own private way. Next up, the life and times of a jazz legend, Lionel Hampton.
I'd like someone to explain why carrying a 5-pound baby means I'm now 30 pounds heavier. Putting on socks has become an aerobic activity for me. Well, there's only one thing to do. Wear dark colors. Instead of a bus, I can look like a minivan. But when you wash them, they can end up with clumps of powder on them.
Finally, there's a powder detergent that won't leave all that residue. New Quick Dissolving Tide leaves all your clothes looking great.
I can't wait to see my feet again.
New Quick Dissolving Tide.
There's something different about Michael.
He's like this health nut. I mean, he runs and he bikes, and he's kind of freaking me out.
He thinks he's like young again. He actually wants to do stuff with us.
What's gotten into him?
He's exercising and drinking Ensure. One glass gives you complete balanced nutrition when you can't have foods like these.
I don't know what it is, but I like it.
Ensure to your health. Now with lutein to help support the health of your eyes.
Mom takes Metamucil to stay regular. I never will.
That's what you think.
I won't take a fiber supplement that can get thick and gritty.
That's what you think.
I found a better way to take my fiber. Benefiber.
Benefiber?
It never gets thick or gritty like Metamucil can. It's taste-free, too. Benefiber even goes with coffee. Mom can have her Metamucil.
That's what you think.
Benefiber makes taking fiber easier.
Love that irresistible sweet and salty popcorn from the county fair? Well, you're in luck. Orville Redenbacher now makes it. Microwave kettle corn. It's a totally new way to get Orvilleized.
Ask your doctor about Celebrex.
A town divided by football. The voters said no to funding a team, but some raised the money anyway. So what about that vote? Eye on America, Monday on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
The legendary Lionel Hampton, master of the vibraphone and a jazz ambassador to the world, died today in New York. He was 94. He was a dynamic presence on stage, a musical pioneer who spent his career breaking down barriers. In a 1995 interview with CBS, Hampton talked about his legendary ability to improvise.
Music it inspires me. I can play How High the Moon one way now, and as I go along, I'll find other ways to play it.
During a recording session in 1930, Louis Armstrong asked Hampton, who was originally a drummer, if he knew how to play the vibes. Hampton not only mastered the vibraphone, he transformed it.
Before Lionel Hampton came along, the vibraphone was not an instrument that people paid close attention to. Because of what he brought to that instrument, he made it one of the dominant instruments in jazz.
Hampton helped break another barrier when bandleader Benny Goodman asked him to be part of a new quartet, becoming one of the first black musicians to perform before white audiences.
Well, he was extremely gifted, talented, gifted, of course, and he was one of the world's greatest improvising percussionists.
Hampton appeared in films and formed his own big band during the 1940s, touring the world as the unofficial ambassador of American jazz. Along the way, he discovered and nurtured talented musicians like Quincy Jones and Dinah Washington.
We are now opening the Gladys Hampton House.
In later years, Hampton became a philanthropist, helping build low-income housing projects and endowing the music school at the University of Idaho. But to the end, it was the music that was his driving force.
Music is my lifeline. It's I won't say my religion, but because I believe in God, but it's close to it. See?
And that's the CBS Evening News. Tomorrow on Sunday morning, bittersweet times for the hometown of the Hershey Bar. And on Face the Nation, Republican and Democratic Party leaders kick off Campaign 2000. I'm Russ Mitchell, CBS News, New York. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, go to cbsnews.com. AOL keyword CBS News. CBS News.
Introducing Life Moments, the new show where you watch real women rise to become the heroes of their own lives.
Starting September 9th on Coin TV 6.
The survivors are headed for Thailand, and they're in for a big surprise.
Ladies on the left, men on the right.
Right from the very beginning, who will outwit?
Short of killing me, they're not going to be able to get rid of me too easily.
Outplay.
I'm going to let them do the battling of me. If they push, I'm going to pull.
Or outlast.
They call me the she-devil because wherever I am, trouble ensues.
Don't miss Survivor Thailand. Premieres CBS Thursday, September 19th.
A gruesome discovery in a Vancouver home. Investigators say it may be the latest case of animal abuse.
Are Portland police too aggressive in breaking up large crowds? Tonight, why some people say officers acted inappropriately during last night's bicycle protest.
Plus, the Ducks break in their new stadium. Coin 6 News at 6 starts now.
Now, with Ken Body and Amy Morrow, this is Coin 6 News at 6.
Welcome to Coin 6 News. I'm Amy Morrow.
And I'm Ken Body. Our top story tonight, Vancouver police make a terrible discovery in a Vancouver home. Officers were called to the home in the 3700 block of East 8th Street to make a welfare check on the woman living there. When they arrived, police say they found dozens of malnourished cats inside. Armed with a search warrant, police went back in today to rescue any living animals. While there, they found 11 dead cats. Their bodies were in freezers scattered throughout the home. 3 others have since been euthanized.
This was a definite case of neglect. That's what we're seeing. We have